In a small village nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a beautiful girl named Ugochi. She was a kind and gentle soul, with a heart full of love for all living things. But despite her beauty and kindness, the villagers hated Ugochi with a passion. They said she was cursed, that she had brought misfortune to their village. They claimed that she was responsible for the death of her parents, who had passed away when Ugochi was just a child. The villagers believed that Ugochi's presence in their village was a constant reminder of the tragedy that had befallen them. As a result, the villagers treated Ugochi with contempt and disdain. They would not let her participate in their ceremonies or celebrations, and they would often mock her and call her names. One day, the villagers decided that they had had enough of Ugochi. They called a meeting and decided to marry her off to the forest, hoping that the forest spirits would take her away from their village forever. Ugochi was devastated when she heard the news. She had never been to the forest before, and the thought of living alone in the wilderness terrified her. But she had no choice, and so she reluctantly agreed to the marriage. The villagers took Ugochi to the edge of the forest and left her there, alone and frightened. Ugochi wandered deeper into the forest, calling out for help, but there was no one to answer her cries. As night began to fall, Ugochi curled up under a tree and cried herself to sleep. She was hungry and thirsty, and she had no idea how she would survive in the forest. But when she woke up the next morning, Ugochi found a bowl of food and a jug of water beside her. She was amazed and grateful, but she had no idea who could have left the food and water for her. This continued for many days, with Ugochi waking up each morning to find food and water waiting for her. She began to feel a sense of wonder and magic in the forest, and she started to explore her surroundings with a sense of curiosity and awe. One day, as Ugochi was pretending to sleep, she saw a handsome young man approaching her. He was tall and strong, with piercing eyes and a kind smile. Ugochi was immediately drawn to him, and she felt a sense of excitement and wonder. The young man did not seem to notice Ugochi watching him, and he quietly left a bowl of food and a jug of water beside her. Ugochi waited until he had gone, and then she sat up and ate the food and drank the water. As she ate, Ugochi couldn't help but wonder about the young man. Who was he, and why was he taking care of her? She felt a sense of gratitude and affection towards him, and she couldn't wait to see him again. Over the next few days, Ugochi caught glimpses of the young man, but she never got a chance to talk to him. She began to feel frustrated and curious, and she decided to take matters into her own hands. One day, as the young man was approaching her, Ugochi sat up and confronted him. "Who are you?" she demanded. "Why are you taking care of me?" The young man was taken aback by Ugochi's boldness, but he smiled and introduced himself. "My name is Ease," he said, "and I am the ruler of this forest. I am the one you got married to." Ugochi was amazed and delighted by this revelation. She had never imagined that the young man who had been taking care of her was actually the ruler of the forest. As she got to know Ease better, Ugochi realized that she had fallen deeply in love with him. And to her delight, Ease felt the same way about her. As the days turned into weeks, Ugochi and Ease's love continued to grow. They spent their days exploring the forest together, and their nights cuddled up in each other's arms. And as they sat together on the throne of the forest, Ugochi realized that she had finally found her true home. She was no longer alone and unloved, but surrounded by the beauty and magic of the forest, and loved by the man of her dreams. And so, Ugochi and Ease lived together, ruling the forest with wisdom and kindness, and surrounded by the love and magic of the natural world. As the days turned into weeks, Ugochi and Ease's love continued to grow. They spent their days exploring the forest together, learning about each other's cultures and traditions. Ugochi was amazed by the magic and wonder of the forest, and Ise was delighted by her curiosity and enthusiasm. One day, as they were walking through the forest, Ise turned to Ugochi and said, "I have something important to show you." He led her to a beautiful clearing, filled with flowers and trees. In the center of the clearing stood an enormous tree, its trunk glowing with a soft, golden light. "This is the heart tree," Ise said, his eyes shining with reverence. "It is the source of all life and magic in the forest. And it is here that I must take you to complete our marriage ritual." Ugochi was amazed and a little intimidated by the grandeur of the heart tree. But she trusted Ise and knew that he would never harm her. So she nodded bravely, and Ise took her hand, leading her to the base of the tree. There they performed a beautiful ritual, exchanging vows and promises to love and protect each other. As they spoke, the golden light of the heart tree grew brighter, filling Ugochi's heart with joy and wonder. And when the ritual was complete, Ise turned to Ugochi and said, "You are now my wife, my queen, and my love. Together we will rule the forest with wisdom and kindness, and bring peace and prosperity to all its creatures." Ugochi smiled, feeling happy and content. She knew that she had found her true home and her true love, and she knew that she would always cherish and honor the magic and wonder of the forest. But little did Ugochi know, a great challenge was coming their way. A dark force, one that had been growing in power for many years, threatened to destroy the forest and all its inhabitants. And Ugochi and Ise would have to face their greatest test yet, to save their home and their love. Do not miss The Forest Wife Part 2.